Welcome to the Coaching Edge podcast with your co-hosts, Dr. Steve Jeffs and Erwin de Grave. Each episode, we bring you expert guests and transformative coaching insights. Let's dive in.
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Erwin de Grave. I'm here together with Steve Jeffs at the Coaching Edge podcast. And today we have the great pleasure to talk with Supriya Sahai. Hello, Supriya. Hello, Steve. Welcome.
Hi, Erwin. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah.
It's a pleasure. Hello,
Great to
Supriya.
have you here. Supriya, I'm excited. You and I have worked together. We've been around coaching for a while, but just could you give us a brief introduction to yourself as a coach to start with for our audience to understand a little bit more about you as a coach?
All right. So first of all, I'll just say hi, Steve, and it's great to be here. Absolutely, we do go a long way. And what I do as a small introduction, especially when it comes to coaching, is that I am involved with the corporates, especially family-owned businesses and the corporates back in Dubai, and a few here in Hong Kong, where I run certain psychometric assessments. And post that, we get on a coaching journey. And because I am a CTI professional, of course, and coached by you, Steve. So definitely the tools of CTI are definitely on my cards when we get on that coaching journey. So I can call myself as a executive coach and also a career transition coach, where I help professionals to understand themselves and make those massive or mini transitions that they're looking at, depending on where they are on their journey. And lately, for the past 1.5 years, due to some reasons, a lot of women are coming my way. No added effort, where they are looking to work with me to expand their business, or also to work on how do they transition back to their professional life. So that's something that I do when it comes to coaching.
Fantastic. That's fascinating. We're going to come to all sorts of things in amongst that. Well, what do you love about coaching?
So I think when I started with my own journey in coaching, what I love about this particular tool when it comes to professional development or exploring oneself is that it helps you move forward wherever you are. It's not only a tool where you are stuck in the past, probably exploring your past, and because that is also important, I understand, but having a tool of coaching has given me a wide array of options that once we've looked at whatever the individual is stuck on, how do you move forward? What are those visualizations or certain activities that I can provide to them either during the session or post the session, which really has had massive breakthroughs when I've done that with a couple of my clients, I'll say. So yeah, moving forward is one of the, I think I'll say, is the best thing that I really love about coaching.
You just mentioned something really interesting, which sounds really connected with me, is you said coaching is as a tool for you. So
Yeah.
many people also, if you talk to coaches, they say, well, coaching is coaching, but you see it also as a tool in your toolbox.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
why do you have that vision to say it's a tool that in my toolbox with other tools?
Because when I use a lot of modalities, to be very honest, when people come to explore themselves, whether it's at the corporate or it's at a personal level, I believe, or at least I view coaching as one of the tools, as one of the steps that the person will take with me to explore themselves, to expand themselves. Because a lot of times what I've seen, even in my journey with many coaches that I've also tried to explore myself with, that being stuck with one modality maybe is not my cup of tea. So even within coaching, I like to explore what are the other tools that we can use when an individual comes to us. But definitely, being a part of the community of CTI, I think CTI has given such an array of tools And I would like to add here, like, Steve has been my coach while I was taking on that journey. And I think just to uh, see the coaches be who they are, I think that has been a gift to use as a tool. I think tools, it's not just like, okay, you do this or you do this exercise and come back. It's about, seeing your coaches, seeing your seniors, just be who they are and open up that space is a tool, I think is what I'll say when it comes to coaching.
I love where you're pointing that authenticity really is a tool. The other thing I hear you pointing to is that, it's not just about what we're doing as a coach, it's also about who we're being.
No, absolutely. I think that's, if I can add to it, is like, whatever is within is, outside. So it's just as simple, like, I'm just a reflection of, whatever I am inside of me. So I think being a coach, authenticity is one of the basic things that, we should have, that, whatever we are, we need to be as is in front of our clients.
Yeah, it's we can talk more about that later, but I think you're right. There's something profound about being human, giving ourselves that permission, and actually taking responsibility as a coach to design the relationship with our clients so that they have the safe space to show up with what's important, to explore those things that are there, but also so that we have that same space where we can just show up, be ourselves, and then partner with our clients to move forwards, as you were pointing to
Yes.
before.
And a
Hey,
lot of times in my experience is that, a lot of times I don't need to be a coach. I just need to be a friend probably, or, just someone who would just hear out a person and just probably connect that person to something else. So, to be honest, like, I don't take this title very seriously. It's, again, as you said, it's just being authentic in that moment and just being in the service of what I'm hearing from the person. And if I'm the right channel or medium for that, that person, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, at the end, the aim is to help the
Absolutely.
person or the group of person, and that's why I like that you said coaching is a tool, like all the other tools, which could be that really helps, because that's the aim of a coach, is helping another person to grow and get to the answers that they need, and so. And sometimes a little kick in the ass to wake them up, to then help them. That's what I like to do. But sometimes it's necessary, and that's why I see. So you really work executive coaching. You work with companies,
Yes.
and you also mentioned that you work with women. Is it
Yes.
more in general more women, or you work women and men 50-50, or it's like more executive women that come and that you work with you?
The proportion right now, I'll say, is 90% men and,
Mm.
10 or 15% women.
Is there a
Um,
reason behind that? Is that for the culture?
yes, I think in my scenario, in my case, what I observe is uh, because I'm into senior executive coaching now, um, mostly that I'm exposed to, most of the senior management are males. It's a cliche. I know, like, we've been there. There's so many articles and, videos about it, but that's a fact. It's a fact that that's the reality of the corporate. And the women who have come forward to work with me have spent their own money. And most of the men whom I work with are all sponsored by the companies. Like, that's a stark difference that I see.
Mm.
That yeah, I mean, like, I just met a business owner. She was a lady. We met at a event, and she just said, "Okay, I want to sign up with you." And I was like, "You're already such an established business owner in Dubai. Like, if I take her name, I haven't taken the permission, so I can't." But she said, "No, no, I'll work with you. I need to, work on what I need to do professionally. Do I diversify my business? Do I, stop working with this partner and do something else?" Yeah, but the proportion of women and men in my case is that.
And is it a challenge? Because I do not know, I haven't been in Dubai in this environment. You two have been there. But as an executive coach, what do you see the challenges for women in to be an executive and to be able to express and do what they're really good at?
Mostly it's self-imposed. It is that what I can see, because apart from the one-to-one executive coaching, I have had the opportunity to have senior women in group coaching. So while I have conducted these psychometric assessments, I have got the opportunity of having, senior leadership in the room. And mostly, women will come with self-doubt. Do I deserve it? Do I not? Should I speak? And should I confront this guy or not? I know him for such a long time. Maybe, the relationship is more important. Those kind of things are, I think, what holds back women to probably, stand up, speak up, ask, those difficult questions. And that includes me as well. I think, because such women were coming in my space, I started reflecting on myself. I was like, okay, because I practice this uh, so much in my life that, whatever I am will be a reflection outside. And I was like, okay, what is happening here? And I realized this is exactly what I also do at a lot of times where I hesitate to ask for more from my clients, probably, or maybe expect more from myself through my business. So that I think that's the pattern I've noticed.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because I think you just stepped into something that a lot of coaches don't necessarily know is an opportunity. What I heard you say is, hey, my clients are bringing me these challenges. Uh, Let me look at myself and see how that's also true for me. And then you did some work around that. Tell us a little bit more about that process.
I think that my process has been like really reflecting and writing on, so I think one of the tools that I use for myself from CTI was to just become aware of my body. Where am I feeling that stuckness? When I'm in the meeting, what happened? Post that, I started reflecting that did I express what I had to in the moment, or I just sat, because in most of the rooms that I sit, or I've been sitting for the past 4 years, there's not a single woman in the room, not a single woman. The team members that I bring in are women, not a single one on the board or as an advisor wherever I have been. And there are moments where I get intimidated. There are moments where I feel that, okay, is it okay to ask more from the client, because I'm already in business with them, so on and so forth. So it has been a journey for me to uh, reflect and then also have a very sensible understanding of what is happening in the market. What am I charging? It's not just just feeling and emotions for me. It's also putting myself into the perspective that, okay, if I'm expecting more, it is because of I'm charging a X percentage less than what probably the other competitors would be, or what is the value I'm providing, and then feeling confident about putting myself out there. So it was more of feeling my body, feeling the stuckness, and seeing that, okay, I'm not feeling okay. Maybe just to give an example to the listeners on the podcast would be just feel your body. And for me, mostly it's my throat. I'll start feeling a sensation around my throat that something is not okay. I'm holding something back. Versus going back, doing my homework, understanding why the client may say yes for this proposition, or why they may say a no for this proposition. So yeah.
I love that. I think it's such an underutilized tool for us as coaches, is to do our own work. To, as you said, to reflect, to pay attention, to notice what's happening in our body, especially for those of us that are very logical and think the body is just to carry our head around. There's so much wisdom, there's so much insight we have to listen to it and then get curious. And the other tool that I heard you point to was writing. So journaling, reflecting. There's some cool studies, particularly with the handwritten journaling as opposed to typewritten. There's a relationship we have differently with our thoughts when it comes through our hands. But to actually do that and to learn to see our thoughts, I think. And for us to take responsibility for our journey is absolutely of service to our clients and often inspired by them, as you pointed to. I really love that reminder.
You mentioned something before is about the value that offer and the price for the value that I offer. And I think a lot of coaches do have that challenge to look at, okay, what is the value I offer and what is the price I could ask and what is the price what you think the client is willing to pay. So how do you deal with that yourself?
So going back to Erwin, my journey has been like, to provide the value would be on two tangents. At least that's how I look at it. One is the number of sessions, and the other is within the sessions, I'm very clear on like, what are the tools they can expect. Or like, adding on the psychometric assessments, for example, because I have realized that when I club certain value propositions with them, or probably, certain follow-up calls, for example, or maybe like, evaluating, certain documents maybe they want, we all want mentors in some way for our own personal or professional development. And maybe, we could have some, extra time or certain extra free session, one or two, where, we could go through those documents together. And the other tool that I also use as a value proposition is, hypnotherapy, because I'm also into hypnotherapy as a modality. So I don't use hypnotherapy as in like, doing it along with a CTI tool, but that's an option as a value add that I can provide, that, okay, like, these are the sessions, but if you would want to also explore hypnotherapy or like, uh, you know, or constellations, for example. I'm not very sure of if you're aware of constellations. Business constellations is one of the. So I'm also like, 2 levels certified in that. And constellation has been, a part of my learning, family constellations, for the past 6 years now. So, these are the tools. So I think personal development for me is my passion. So as much as I can, more than the client, I think, I'm exploring my own life. And very humbly, people on that journey, I think, are a part of, the work that I do. And even in the corporate, I stick to certain tools. So if a client is paying, for example, I don't get into hypnotherapy till the time I don't get okay from the sponsors, because, the organization is not paying directly, to heal your inner children, for example. So, either the sponsors are okay with it, they give me the full permission, or then, we stick to it professionally. So I have certain packages that I have developed over the years based on the other modalities that I'm passionate about personally, which works. Yeah, which has worked for me. So I assume if, the clients come to me, I think they are sent for some reason, and that's why I share it with them.
Staying with this same sort of topic of feeling comfortable with what you're charging, what, so I guess two questions at once. One, what's the advantage of having clear packages? And two, what tips or advice do you have for coaches to be able to feel comfortable saying, this is the price?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think I have also grown from charging a X amount to, what I charge now. And doing is the only way, I believe, over the time, is that one can feel okay and comfortable with a particular amount. Because anyways, I feel when, so this has to be answered in, for example, if the listeners that who are listening to us are just beginning their coaching journey, I would say that, explore as much as you can. I think CTI has taught us that, start with a cup of coffee, right? To then, charge, I don't know, I mean, like, 10, 15, $20, or like, in dirhams. I think I started with 100 dirhams. So, and as much as I could, I just went out there, started speaking, and because a lot of times otherwise people are not even comfortable charging that. The other thing practically that I have found helpful for coaches who have probably crossed the 2-year mark, probably doing coaching, would be to club your services of coaching along with probably something else that you're doing. Maybe coaching in your niche industry. For example, if you are, predominantly creating value in the industry of health, so you become a health coach and use those tools there, versus, a management consultant. You're already in that particular domain, and then you use the tool of coaching at the right time with your people. I think that then just helps you to settle and just ask for, okay, I charge, I don't know, I mean, like, for me, 300, 400, 5,000, maybe 5,000, 10,000. That's just a number. Wherever you are, I mean, anyways, receiving a particular amount, I think, and that's the practical part that I love sharing, is that, for example, even if you are an employee, calculate your per day cost. You're anyways receiving that on a monthly basis, right? On a day-to-day basis, calculate that. And that's your base cost. That anyways, energetically, you should be okay with that. Okay, this is my day's cost. And this is, approximately my hourly cost. That means, right? And be okay to charge that. However, initially do as much as you can, and I think the clients give you the best feedback. If they're giving you referrals, if they are, coming back, signing up with you, you'll know, whether you've charged them or given the service that they were expecting.
I think this is an important point that you just mentioned about referrals. So, and certainly when you start, a referral is actually kind of payment that a client does certainly when you start off, and it's something that you say, well, I'm not going to charge you too much, but if you bring me referrals, for me that brings me the indirect income as well, and I think that is really important to be able to ask for referrals when you're with a client. I think that is really important, and that's probably in the beginning part of the payment as well.
Yes. I agree
Very
on
poignant. I heard a couple of things just to summarize for our audience. I think one thing I heard you say was to get out there and practice, not just to practice coaching, but practice selling coaching, practice asking for the sale, practice discussing money. And as you said, starting with a cup of coffee or 100 dirhams or whatever it is, build the repetitions. The more you get, the easier it gets. So I think that was one thing. The second thing that you spoke to was in line with authenticity that we touched on before, which is align your coaching with your experience, your background, and who you are. There's a way that we step into coaching as as accidental entrepreneurs. It's a phrase I'm using more and more. And for many of us, it feels like we have to leave all of that stuff behind and start something fresh. In fact, for many coaches, we are trying to leave everything behind. We're running away from some corporate something or something that's going on because we want more of something. But there's so much value that coaches bring. And as we gain some confidence as a coach to reintegrate our experience and our background and bring that in as a value add to our coaches, I think is a really great tip. I love that. Hey, speaking of backgrounds, before you were a coach, like what were you doing and what brought you to coaching?
So I was into L&D, learning and development, and I was a corporate trainer in Dubai for the past 6 years before I got into coaching. And when I used to take these sessions, I think during that time, coaching was a buzz word. And like, a lot of people would come and ask me that, do you do some coaching sessions also? Will you coach my daughter? Will you, coach this guy? he's really difficult. Like, some manager would come after the session and they would talk post the group sessions that I would take. And that got me interested. I was like, what is this coaching? And like, I kept. So I think during the 8th year of my corporate training, I started looking into, and I think I signed up, yeah, for CTI during my 8th year as a L&D professional. That's what got me into coaching.
I
Just
love it.
curiosity. And I think for me at that point of time, it was just that I had no idea what I'm supposed to do. And I just wanted to explore something which will help me to explore myself. I think more than anything that, okay, I'll get this payment after I do this, or I'll have a brand name. I had nothing of that sort on my mind. I was like, oh my God, I'm just so fed up of not knowing what I'm supposed to do. Let me just explore myself. And that's how I got into coaching.
I love it. And you were saying before, so you've been able to create a company, and now you're actually doing coaching as well as more than coaching. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite interesting. I just, uh, so after my coaching journey, somehow, the whole rigorous process of that we had for that 1.5 years just got me to a point that stop thinking too much in the future. So I stopped thinking. So I just have plans for the next 1 month or 3 months. I don't think more than that too much on a day-to-day basis. So I was like, okay, like, this is the client's need. What will serve the client? I think the biggest thing, what I have been able to build is that I have been able to find a gap with the already existing client, uh, do a very hardcore scrutiny within myself. Will I be able to deliver what I feel that is a gap? Even though if I don't know, I think I have that enthusiasm to learn more. I think that is a insatiable thirst I think I still have in my life, that okay, how will I figure this out? Okay, something is wrong in the business. So for example, I started doing the sales executive coaching. That's where I found, oh my God, like, they're not, for example, doing XYZ, the basics, that is supposed to be done. Okay, so who will solve this problem along with me? So then I built a team, and that team, together we deliver these solutions. So I think that has been my journey, just to be emotionally available for the clients, hear them, listen to them, and give them a solution which is digestible to them. Yeah, and just stay hungry, stay foolish. So I've just been very, very foolish to say that I just don't know how it's going to happen. And I will still do it. I will make it happen. So yeah, yeah.
I hear what you just say. So you're a coach, but actually you're also a business owner. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
I think I've come to terms with that word. I never feel that I can run a business, but yeah, I think I can say that now.
Well, so it's interesting your response, because that was connected with my next question. So, as a business owner, what are the main challenges that you found? Certainly, if you look at business owner together with the coaching, what are the main challenges that you've encountered, and how did you overcome them?
I think initially it was to increase the ticket size of the business that I was running. There is a certain X amount of revenue which was coming just through trainings and through executive coaching. And I think I was extremely ambitious to learn to grow money. And I saw that opportunity that I did. So that was the first challenge I found. I was like, okay, this is the revenue that I'm making, and what is next for me? And that was a challenge for a couple of years. Like, I felt very stagnant. I felt stuck that, okay, like, the market is competitive. What next do I need to do to even grow my value as a coach? Because there is a certain level we all reach, and then it's not just about charging, it's also about feeling that there is a good value of exchange when someone is coming to you for that service. That's where I just had to push myself and I went into management consulting. The other challenge that I have, I think I do have, is to manage two locations. Like, if I am here, the team is back in Dubai versus, like, in Hong Kong. So the whole idea is to set up a team even back in Hong Kong is something that I'm facing, like, as a little bit of challenge, because whatever work is here, I need to be physically here versus what is there in Dubai. And I think in the market of anywhere, I think I feel it's the consistent flow. So one is like, you have repeated clients versus, trying to open up more doors for that ticket size that now I'm used to. So not I'm used to, the business is used to. So that is definitely a challenge uh, that I face.
Hey, say more about that. You said the ticket size that I'm used to, and then you corrected that to that the business is used to. What's
Yes.
the difference between the business and you in that sense?
So yeah, I think that's a good question. So I comes from the ego that, okay, like, this is what I earn, versus, like, humbling myself to say that, okay, like, if there are certain people that, the business is like, they're drawing their salaries from that particular business, how much does the business need to sustain itself, like, ethically and comfortably for the people who are engaged with us. So that's and we need to run a certain number so that everyone is fruitfully engaged with us.
Really, really love where you're pointing, because a business should make more than the employee.
Absolutely.
And as a coach, we're actually only an employee of our business. And this is why Erwin jumped on your language of, oh, I'm a business owner and I'm a coach or the trainer. But when I'm a coach or a trainer, I've still got to report in to me as the business owner. And as a business owner, I need to make sure that we as a business are charging what we need to be charging to be able to deliver the value that we need to be able to deliver beyond what I'm just delivering by myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's one tip that you could give to the people, coaches listening to this podcast, as a business owner of a coaching business? What is one tip that you can share with them?
I will just say that have the thirst to explore yourself, be authentic, and just keep putting the effort to reach out and be there for people as much as you can. A lot of times, even today, a few of my known contacts, they contact me. They may or may not have the finance to have those sessions. As much as I can, I think, the whole journey of being a coach is to just keep putting yourself out there. Just don't limit yourself that, okay, like, this is the person, this is how much I have to, like, get out of this person, because I just feel that, coaching is a business of service. And as much as we can, just be completely authentic. Maybe you cannot give an hour to the person, give 15 minutes, but just give it with a lot of love and full of your heart. I think, it's the energy of you which, the people connect to, not the words, not your, like, titles, I'm this certified, that's it. It's the energy. And, I think I'm speaking very passionately, but that is one tip I'll give. Just, you know, if you're a coach, please just work from your heart, and then the head will follow. Like, you can do all the analysis after that session, but yeah, just 10-15 minutes, you can just, you don't know from where you will get the next opportunity, but at least it has been my experience that time spent with someone genuinely has never ever gone for a waste. Never. maybe you don't receive it from that person, but if you're just there for that person with a lot of love and understanding, something happens, something opens up. I don't know, but that's what I believe, and I will share as a tip.
I like this. Thank you for sharing that.
So, Supriya, thank you so much. Now, if our audience wants to connect more with you and, of course, your energy, how can they connect and where can they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn and send me a DM or request, maybe on as a message. So my LinkedIn handle is also Supriya Sahai. I think that's the simplest. They can find all the rest of the details of the website and phone number, everything over there. And
Fantastic,
yeah,
and we'll put the link below so people can find you there as well.
Yeah. And in fact, I'll say to
This
people who are listening that please get in touch, get the help that you're aspiring for, not that you want. I think asking for help is an aspiration. It's not just that you're in a need of help. So we have great coaches here, Erwin, Steve, and just reach out to anybody. Just aspire for a better life.
Well, thank you very much, Supriya, for all your insights and sharing. It was really interesting. And thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much, Erwin, and thank you, Steve, for this wonderful conversation.
You're welcome. I wish we had more time. Lots of curiosity about where you're going. We certainly wish you the best of luck going forwards. And thank you for sharing your insights, your experience, and of course, the wisdom that you've gained along the way. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to The Coaching Edge. Until next time, keep coaching and keep growing.